All right, welcome everyone. You are tuned into this week's Ask-Reno.com Hot Topic Explainer. Every single week, we dive into the absolutely hottest, most fiercely debated topics lighting up Reno's social media, and we break down exactly what's going on using the actual sources driving the conversation. Today, we've got a massive one for you. We're talking about public land, private business, and basically the very heart of downtown Reno. I'm super excited to guide you through this, so let's just jump right in. So here is the million-dollar question. Literally, should a beloved, totally free public space right in the center of the city be transformed into a private commercial enterprise? I mean, it sounds like some theoretical debate you'd have in a city planning class, right? But right now, it is a very real, very heated reality here in Reno. It's this massive conflict pitting the preservation of open community space directly against the push for commercial revitalization. And to really grasp why this has struck such a nerve online, we first have to understand what is actually at stake here. Section 1. The Believe Plaza's legacy. Now, this space isn't just an empty lot. It has a rich history and a really deep connection to Reno's modern identity. It's anchored by the Believe sculpture. You know the one. It's that massive 70-foot wide steel artwork with that rustic hue, originally built for Burning Man by artists Laura Kimpton and Jeff Schomburg. And here's a detail I love from our art trail source. If you look closely at it, the metal is actually imprinted with hundreds of bird cutouts. This is a deeply personal touch from Kimpton. After her father passed away, she saw a flock of birds fly by his window, and those cutouts serve as a permanent reminder of him. Today, it sits right next to the Truckee River, acting as a natural gathering point and a true symbol of Reno's artistic heart. But it wasn't always the Believe Plaza. Before all this, that exact corner was the site of the historic Mapes Hotel. After the hotel was demolished back in 2000, the property returned to the city. For a while, it hosted a temporary winter ice rink and event space. But today, decades after the demolition, it operates as City Plaza. It's home to the Believe sculpture, it's a huge spot for local skaters, and a venue for public events. But recently, a totally new vision for this land has emerged.
Which brings us to Section 2, the Eddy's relocation proposal.
Okay, let's dive into this. The Eddy, as many of you know, is currently a really popular outdoor bar along the river, famous for its shipping containers and AstroTurf. Well, the owner and president of the Eddy, Kurt Stitzer, has submitted a letter of intent to the city manager asking to lease the City Plaza property with an option to purchase it later. And according to the Reno Gazette-Journal, the Eddy isn't just looking to put a few picnic tables out there. No, they want to completely transform the space. Their proposed amenities include an outdoor bar and lounge, a food truck court, a permanent pizza restaurant, pickleball courts, a children's play area, and an entertainment stage. They're going for the whole shebang. So why move at all? Well, according to Stitzer, the upcoming Sierra Street Bridge construction scheduled for 2027 poses a massive threat to his current location. He says it could hinder business so severely that the Eddy might have to leave downtown entirely. So his pitch is simply to relocate to the plaza to survive. But he also claims this move is a public good. In his proposal, he actually states the project will draw consistent foot traffic and discourage the concentration of urban blight. Now, lock that phrase in your mind, urban blight, because it becomes a massive flashpoint in the social media reaction later on. Now, this proposal went before the Reno Redevelopment Agency Advisory Board, and the result was a razor-thin 4-3 vote. They voted to recommend doing additional research and a feasibility study on the move. And it is absolutely crucial to note here, impartially as reported by the RGJ, that Stitzer himself actually sits as a member of this very advisory board. He did recuse himself from this specific vote, but board members and the public definitely noted the optics of considering a proposal from one of their own without really looking at other competitive bids. All right, let's look at Section 3, a crucial public space. And this brilliantly illustrates the whole tug-of-war. To understand the firestorm this caused, we have to look at the core conflict. On one side, we have the current use. It's entirely free. It's used for free speech protests, community mutual aid, skateboarding, and just enjoying public art. On the other side, the proposed use is a private commercial enterprise. While it would definitely offer entertainment, it revolves around paid food and drinks and reserving spaces like pickleball courts. It represents a fundamental shift from a civic amenity that is open to everyone without spending a dime to a curated, commercialized environment. The loss of that free civic space was actually the primary concern for the board members who voted no and for a lot of the public commenters. Let's look at a quote from public commenter Adrian Rodriguez, reported by the RGJ. He said, "The Believe Plaza is the only free speech plaza that we have in this area. And history completely backs this up. Just recently, the plaza was the central location for the local No Kings protest. It is our de facto town square for civic gathering. But it's not just about protests. It's about day-to-day survival for some of Reno's most vulnerable folks. An article from Our Town Reno beautifully profiles a married couple, Bill and Jaime, who are currently unhoused. As older motels and cheap apartments are being replaced by expensive developments all over downtown, they rely on a fixed income that just doesn't stretch far enough, and strict EBT limits that barely cover basic food. For them, and for many others, the Believe Plaza is a rare, safe refuge where they can just sit by the river. It's also a known hub for community mutual aid. Which drops us right into Section 4, the social media backlash. Remember how I told you to remember that phrase urban blight? Well, the internet certainly noticed. Here is how one Reddit user, Mountain High 31, reacted to the Eddy's proposal claiming they would cure blight. They wrote, "No freaking way did the people who stocked up shipping containers around some AstroTurf just call the plaza blighted." And this sentiment spread like wildfire. It was echoed across dozens of comments. Residents feel fiercely protective of the space and were deeply offended by a private business framing a heavily utilized public park as some kind of problem that needs a commercial savior. And notice the specific term used by Reddit user Agreed Mosdale here. They wrote, "Destroying one of the few third spaces left in downtown Reno for the chance to throw beer cans and trash down the Truckee River." That phrase right there, third space, is vital to this whole debate. A third space is basically a social surrounding that is totally separate from your home and your workplace. In modern cities, free third spaces where you aren't expected to buy a coffee or a beer are rapidly disappearing. The digital community clearly sees this proposal as a direct threat to one of Reno's last true third spaces. So the crucial point driving this Ask-Reno.com Hot Topic explainer is this summary of community concerns that we've pulled straight from the online discourse. Citizens are worried about the loss of a free third space. They are incredibly skeptical of the optics of the owner sitting on the very advisory board that pushed the proposal forward. They are concerned about displacing the unhoused, specifically pointing out a mutual aid soup kitchen that operates right at the plaza every Tuesday. And finally, they are fiercely protective of losing the city's main location for free speech and protest.
So, Section 5, what happens next?
The internet has absolutely spoken. But how does a proposal like this actually move forward or get stopped? Well, here is the bureaucratic roadmap. Step 1 actually just happened. The advisory board, in that nail-biter 4-3 vote, recommended a feasibility study. Step 2, this recommendation now goes to the redevelopment agency, which is actually just made up of the Reno City Council members. They have to review the proposal, factor in the public reaction, and decide if they even want to authorize that study. And finally, Step 3 would be the ultimate decision on whether to lease or sell this public land to a private entity. As of right now, no date is set for when the City Council will actually take this up. And that brings us to the end of this explainer. We've looked at the history, the proposal, the vital public uses, and the massive social media backlash. Now we turn it back to you, the community. What do you think should be the future of downtown Reno's Believe Plaza? Should the city prioritize private development to keep local businesses alive during construction? Or is the preservation of free, uncommercialized public space just way too important to lose? Keep the conversation going in the comments, and I'll see you on the next Ask-Reno.com Hot Topic Explainer.